Did you have instant success? Did you struggle? How did you build your business from a real estate agent standpoint, and lead me up to the next phase of you deciding, hey, I really want to step into kind of team lead and really leading other people.
Yeah. Got in, and no, it was really, really hard. So I got licensed in May of 2013. I think I had my first closing. It was like September of that year. Somebody who came through an open house. And then I didn't have another one for like another 6 or 7 months. And then even that second year, I only had a handful. I'm trying to do without bashing brokerages, because I think there's a place for everyone. But the first place I was at was really good at, educating me on how to write a contract and how to do this, but not how to get business. And then we've talked about, I'm from Canton. I didn't know a whole lot of people here. So I needed that. How am I picking up clients? How am I growing this? So I left there and I went and I was an admin for a broker or an assistant for a broker. Did that for 9 or 10 months and really just paid attention and watched him. And he busted his ass. Like, that was the one thing that taught me the work ethic in this business. Like, he was already successful and he was still showing up at 8 a.m. every day, would be there till 6 or 7 unless he was out on appointments. But that was somebody who's already making all kinds of money and they're still showing up daily to do that. So I did that, and then went and I was at Berkshire for 5.5 years and loved everything about them. And that's where the business kind of started growing, and started looking at my numbers and realizing, okay, there is more to this. And if you just apply yourself and put in the time and learn, like, you can grow this tremendously. And it was that time where I was working so hard to quit working a second job. Like, I worked so many odd jobs. I worked in Victoria's Secret warehouse, like shipping packages, was in the back of a trailer at FedEx, like just to make ends meet, because they were all seasonal. And then they'd let you go at the end of the season kind of thing. So really the motivation was like, how the hell do I get out of this trailer kind of thing? So that's kind of the short of it as far as my path.
Yeah, I want to break that down a little bit, because it went from, I think you said May to September, May to October, or something like that. Spring to fall, and then you got your first one from an open house, and then you went another good stretch of nothing. How did you go about really building the business? For someone that maybe is like you and like me, we're not from here, right? We don't have SOI. We don't, we can't just tap into people that already know us and like us, right? So what were some of the things from a tactical standpoint that you did focus on that allowed you, obviously year 1, then year 2, and then you really started gaining some of that traction as you got a little bit more narrow focused on what to be doing? What were some of those things?
Yeah. Open house. I learned how to get really good at open houses instead of just standing in a house and hoping somebody came in and maybe you got lucky that they didn't have an agent. Became very purposeful with the follow-up and making sure I was following up with them and guiding them and providing value instead of just, hey, it's Monday. I know you came through the open house this weekend. What was some feedback? Do you want to see anything? Let me show you a house. I want to work for you. Let me do this. Let me do that. Like, give them something, like provide, like, hey, you came through this open house. Here are another 3 that are going on this weekend. Maybe you want to check those out. If you want to do something private, let me know. But giving them something that they actually remember you for that, rather than just like, hey, use me, use me, use me. So open houses were a big one. Social media was huge. Like, I was doing video before video was cool, and I knew nothing about it. I just would watch YouTube on how to edit videos and how to do this, and R&D, rip off and duplicate what other people were doing, and just learn how to do that. And I did that. And then following up with my sphere, like taking those videos and following up with them, leads, using video to follow up with leads. So those were 2 of the big ones. And I was huge on note cards, and I remember not even being able to afford the postage for the note cards, like figuring out, trying how to get, enough stamps to mail them out kind of thing. And just being purposeful with all of that and knowing, like, if I keep doing this, it's going to hit. And that's eventually what happened. I went from doing like 1 deal, 4 deals, 12 deals to like 32 the next year. Like, it was just like all this work that I put in finally clicked and paid off.
I think you mentioned something that's so important is most agents, and obviously you probably hear this and see this too, they struggle with value follow-up. How to follow up with value and make it about the lead, the client, and not about me, the real estate agent.
Yeah.
Me simply calling and saying, hey, Josh, thanks for coming through the open house. Do you have any feedback, or can I show you anything? That's me. That's not them.
Right.
Instead, it's, hey, here's a list of 4 more that are happening, next weekend. If you would love to see them privately, let me know and I can get those scheduled for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And it becomes now, even if they don't respond, because most of them won't, or they don't respond right away, but now
Right.
they know you're providing that value and they follow up with you 2 or 3 weeks. I can't tell you how many times they would go through another open house and then text me and say, hey, actually, we went through this house. Can you tell us a little bit more about this? It was like, boom, jackpot. Like now you're their trusted advisor just because you had been following up with them and giving them value rather than being slimy kind of thing.
Yeah. And so when you were going through that process, how long were you kind of doing real estate and another job on the side to make it work? And then ultimately, what allowed you or what helped you make that leap of faith and jump in with 2 feet?
Yeah. For 3 years for sure. Maybe 2016, 2017 is how long I was doing something on the side. And I was doing real estate full time. Like
Yeah.
I'd go work at FedEx and I'd get there at 8, 9 o'clock at night and then work till 6 a.m., sleep for 3 hours, and I'd go into the office and work and do real estate kind of thing. So that's where it sounds terrible, but when new agents struggle, I'm like, you got to do it. Like you're not getting any sympathy from me. Like I was in your position one time and like you just got to do it. So now I forget your question though, but that's
Well, with that, I think, because that's what I was trying to get at, right? Like what, an agent that's like that, what do you say to them, right? Because you went through it, right?
yeah,
And so how do you encourage them to make that decision of because it comes down to sacrifice,
yeah,
right?
yep, yep.
What do you say to agents when they come to you with that?
Try and find their why and not just like a surface level why. Like if you and I were sitting here talking privately, like I would want to find your motivation and see like not only your why, but who is that going to affect if you don't hit it? Like if you don't hit your goal, is your wife going to be disappointed with you? If you have to tell her, hey, this was our goal and I let you down, how is that going to make you feel? Because those are the things where you have to get in the back of the trailer to ship packages if that's what it's going to take to allow you to get to the next level. And just really digging deep with people and finding, because at the end of the day, like Nike came up with this saying 30 years ago and it's will never go out of style. It's just do it. You just have to do it.